Welcome to The Girl Herd,
where we talk Texas football.
and a bunch of takes you've probably already heard.
But not from us.
We back.
We're back. Hey, Herdies.
We natty champs.
I know.
To the World Series for boys. Like, it's been a big, I feel like, week, which is crazy. I feel like we talked just 5 seconds ago, but it's been a whole
I know. I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, last time they got an instant reaction, but it was us going to the final game. And now we've won a natty back to back. And then now you're kind of getting an instant reaction of us from the boys because we all woke up this morning and we're like, ah.
Yeah, and the game was so late. I'm like, oh, when we play those teams from the West Coast, I'm like, why must we not start a game till 8 p.m.?
I know.
Time is not short after.
Not short after. I honestly was like laying in bed with my phone and I was like, okay, guys, I need you guys to pull this out. So it's worth me staying up. Like, part of you is like, maybe I do just go to sleep so I can wake up like it's Christmas morning. But
well, and I was because I went to bed. I didn't see the end. So this morning, seeing how exciting of an ending it was, I was like, oh man, that would have been so much fun to stay for. Or even being in the building, it seemed electric at the field for the game last night for us to win 6-5 to go to the World Series. But I was like, oh my gosh, in the past 7 days, I don't know how much softball and baseball that I've watched, but it's been a lot.
I know. Well, even yesterday I was like, man, I've like really enjoyed watching the girls. So I'm like, okay, I gotta like change my mode. Like we got to go back to 9 innings. We got to and these games are like high scoring games. I don't know if you saw any of Georgia and Mississippi State. And I actually made a comment where I was like, I don't know if I want to, like, of all things, got to go through Georgia again. No, first game that we play through Georgia, they average 13 runs a game.
Insane. It's insane. And that's what we were talking about that too, of the discrepancy of the bracket. And like, why are we still having to play all these SEC teams together? And then Troy and like Little Rock, Arkansas, whoever they were, right? Like all these smaller schools playing each other, which doesn't quite seem super fair. I'm like, we've played these teams all season. Like there's some of the best teams that probably should be in the College World Series, but getting eliminated because we all play each other again. I'm like, it's so silly.
I know, I hate it. I mean, at least it's like double, like you go to, brackets or whatever, but still I was like, literally we were watching it on Saturday while at brunch and they were like, yeah, like they, all this stuff, we're watching these games. And then literally the next day, like Georgia and Mississippi State do it again, like back to back. And I just was like, I don't know that I want to have to play Georgia or a road that goes through them. And then I'm like, well, but then we joked because we were like, are they just good hitters or are these bad pitchers? Like, how is everyone's? Like, do we just have terrible pitching in SEC? Like, I don't know.
I feel like they are smacking the balls. Like, I feel like they have really good batters because isn't it Georgia? It's the kid who's their catcher who is like smoking balls left and right. And like, that's crazy, especially for a catcher to be hitting the way that he hits. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad for the pitchers because I'm like, I feel like that was a great ball, but just,
Well, and that happens too, where you're like, I mean, that was a good pitch. Like you couldn't win there, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm going to have to like deeper dive into them and see. But this was like very, very exciting watching the end. Like I stayed up even just like watching them all run onto the field and like all the fans. Cause I was curious, I'm like, how late are fans gonna stay? Like it is late and it is a Sunday night, so I was curious how it was gonna be because you watched like some of the last games and in College Station and you were like, where are all the fans? Like what's happening?
Well, it's funny too. So because you watched the Georgia and Mississippi State game too, did you see when they would pan like out to the outfield and then like all of I don't know what age they were, right? But like half of the men didn't have shirts on. Yeah. And the person I was watching the games with were like, is this what it's like at Texas games? And I was like, mine is taking clothes off. Like our fans are a little bit more.
No, like the last games, they did the same for us at our field. Yes. And it was, that's why I was saying last time, like, maybe us want to go back to college because we were like, look at these crazy kids. I mean, Okay, it was men with their shirts off, but
Yes.
like, yeah, it was, they were in the field and they were like, because they panned to the bullpen at one point in time, and our guys like in the bullpen were like going wild because the ball, kind of went over there, and then it like panned again, and it was like another side of the field, and it was, yeah, like all of the fans, they had their shirts off and they were doing the same as the bullpen, like going up against the fence and like running, because we have like the occupy left field, like there's fans all over the place that are doing it. But yeah, we have a little bit of everything. Okay.
Especially in the outfield, which cracks me up. Like those fans get rowdy, and it's like the student section of baseball.
Yeah. 100%. Or like, because I was actually talking to a friend who ended up going, and I'm like, how did you go? Because I was sitting next to another friend, and they were like, we looked at tickets, and they were like thousands of dollars. And I was like, what? Like, yeah. I mean, you do kind of feel silly that it's just in Austin. Like, we could go to this, but then it's like, what? So my friend that ended up going was like, oh no, I'm going and hanging out in the occupy left field and like, outside of the state, whatever. I'm like, well, that would still be a blast. And like all of his videos, I was like, all right, you're still having fun. You're just not in the stadium, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know. And it made me excited too. I heard after the party for softball or whatever they did, like the celebration of them winning, that Tegan was like mobbed by all these little girls trying to get her autograph, which makes my heart so happy and so excited for the sport. I'm like, college softball is so much freaking fun. It made me also sad that we didn't go to more of them when we were in college. I'm like, the sport is just so fun. I'm like, I also kind of wish baseball was the same length, but because softball's so fast, right? Like you're in and out and it's so fast and there's always something happening and with the cheers and all the things. But I was like, that makes me so happy, and it has to make them feel so good. Even all those other sports, and they're like, we're here for softball. Like they were so pumped.
I know, like even seeing the volleyball girls' reaction, it was awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying is like I've been so intense in watching like softball. I was like, okay, gotta like change gears. And then even sadly, even last night I was like, man, the softball girls have been so fun to watch. Like this is just like such a different game to watch, even though, they're similar, obviously. But yeah, same. And there was a Barstool guy, because you just said because it's faster, which is obviously one of them. But one of the Barstool guys also said that. He was like, women's softball is underrated. And he was like, I mean, at least by like most of the fans, like we're not talking about it enough. And he was like, it's so fun to watch. It's faster. And someone made fun of him where he was like, you're saying it's fun because it's faster and you don't have to watch it as long. And he was like, well, no, I'm saying it because people talk about how long baseball is. I mean, on the guy's side, and like how long it is to watch and how people don't really like get into baseball because of that. And he was like, but we're not talking about softball enough, which is, and now they have like, of course, the pitching clock and everything else. But
I know. It is crazy though, the difference of like when I watch softball, I'm like, oh my God, we're already there's only like 3 more outs left. I feel like I just turned this on versus baseball, but I'm like, it's literally not that much, but it makes it drawn.
And then so many games go into extra innings, with all these like high scoring games. You're like, okay.
Lord, it's crazy.
Okay, 3 more outs. Okay, 3 more outs.
Literally. But what is even also crazy to me is that like official visits for football have started. I'm like, I don't know. How would you feel? I'm like, I don't know if I would want my official visit to be not during a game weekend. Like, I want to go and see the full shebang. And granted, most of these kids have been Austin other times, but like,
or will be. Yeah.
Or will be. Yeah. But I'm like, it's got to be such a different experience coming for a summer practice versus a game at DKR.
Well, most of what I've, read and looked at, which is crazy to me. Like we're doing like we did, I think, 50 day countdown last year. And now we're doing 100-day. And every time I'm like, it's weird to like still be in this mix, which I love. Like we have all these other exciting things going on that you're just like, like some people are like, it feels weird to be talking about football, but then everyone also is craving football. But what you were saying of like the visits and like not actually seeing a game, most of what I've read, it's either they're spending more time with the players, which they actually like because they're getting to know them, or B, like a lot of them are coming back for a game this season. A lot of them were coming back for Ohio State first. So, We'll see how that goes. But I did see that, one of the recruits was coming and like he had got to hang out with Jonah Williams and went to a baseball game. So I was like, well, that's fitting.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of the guys at the baseball game. So I was wondering, which I do love. I remember from our day too, like you would have a host, right? Which was a player. But I think even more now, it's really cool to see how much of a recruiting tool the players are in helping in the recruiting process and bringing these guys in, because they can relate on a much different level to them as the coaches. And right, like the coaches are great and they're going to sell and they're going to do all these things, but to hear it from their peer and somebody that they probably look up to and want to be like or emulate their play style has got to be a completely different thing. So it just is funny to see, right? Like, remember when we went on an official visit, like, and we went bowling? I'm like, I highly doubt how much bowling is being happening these days, but like,
Yep, I know. I do think about that of like how different our visits were versus what they are today. But I mean, I remember even Quan when he was on and he talked about it too, of like, the parents looking at him and being like, we want your take, like not just these coaches. And this approach that we're doing now, I mean, I like it because the coaches are like, look, we're not going to talk you into coming here. Like, Texas, here's Austin, here's everything that we have. We'll take you around our facilities, but otherwise, like, go hang out with the guys, which is, I mean, the culture that we want as well, right? Like, we want you, like, think about the softball girls, like all of them were like, we're playing for someone else. Like, that's what you want for football too. Like, I'm playing for him, I'm playing for, and making it all the way to a natty would be the goal.
Yeah. And a huge part of it, like, this taps back into softball a little bit, but Megan, did you see what she put out? It was cracking me up. She's like, I may not have gotten $1 million from like NIL, but I have 2 natties who wants to hire me. And I'm so dead. She also is hilarious in interviews in the past like couple of weeks, but it's all the same kind of a thing, and like how embedded you can get into this university and the things that can benefit you even off of the field, right? Like our alumni base is so rich, and just getting to see even another game, right? Like if I was a recruit and I went to that baseball game last night, I would have been like, wow, like this is dope.
Yeah. Same. Maloney, I saw it and everyone was retweeting it and being like, hire this girl, whatever. Michelle also did, not me, Michelle, who we love, Michelle Lynn. She also did something on Twitter and was like, hey, go follow, these girls and all of their TikToks and socials, like all over the place, because, that only helps them in their NIL and their image and everything else. So, which is so true. You don't like think about all of that. We do follow them for all different reasons, but how it helps them in their long term. And so, yeah, like I saw that and I was like, she's going to get several offers. Like, I have no question.
So many, which I think is cool. But again, yeah, like you said, they don't get as much hype and publicity, even though women's sports is on an upward trajectory. Like, and the brands now, which we've talked about, I feel like a few times, that are interested now in college athletics and sports, now that female sports are growing, the female fan bases, even for football and men's, revenue generating sports, continue to grow. Like, we keep seeing the Sephoras of the world and things like that pop into sports, which is also even more exciting for these people, because you get that much more opportunity to create your brand and your network and whatever.
We've also talked about how women are the ones that are spending the money and like getting the things. We joked about that this weekend, like not Texas sports, but we were laughing about like tech and Patrick, and then we talked about Chiefs, whatever, they all kind of align. But we were talking about how Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were allegedly like got married, whatever. But the joke was like Travis taking Taylor's name, and then like they were like, can you imagine him having like a Travis Swift jersey? Like those would sell out in no time, just because who buys them, And like we were joking, like my friend was like, yeah, like talking about his wife. He was like, how many shirts she buys during season versus how many I buy during season? I was like, yes, because I'm all too aware of how much I have to get in outfits, whereas guys are like, couple polos, maybe a jersey. Like, I'm set for a season. Rude.
They could wear a white t-shirt and change the pants for every game. Like, or put a different hat on. It's crazy.
Literally.
But I am glad that you brought up tech briefly, because 2 things. We did secure a big recruit, a wide receiver, and he had just been on a visit to A&M and Tech. Booyah Tech. We love to, continue to rub it in. But then too, I saw that Sark had come out and said something about like what he had said at the touchdown club and not apologizing for his words, but in so many ways. But I'm like, you know what? I hate that about where the media has gone of like, he said what he said. Like, that's fine. Like, we don't all have to be buds. We can throw some shade. This is sports. Yeah. I'm like, what they do on the field and all the trash talking and all the things, like, let it bleed over into a coach. Like, this is what they do. Like, we don't need an apology for everything. We don't need a PC everything. I'm like, let it just be fun and stir the pot and like create more drama within the fans. Like, it's fine.
Well, it was ironic because I had just done that short where I was like, as someone who was there, like both of us were there and we were like, Sark just said this, like this got so taken out of context. I mean, yeah, like, did he mean it? Was it? But like also, again, like we've talked about, like fans actually like sat back and looked at it. It's like, come on, though. The strength of schedule, it's not a question.
Like, they're facts. These are not opinions. They're facts.
These are facts, which is why, Tech, you want to play us because we would help your strength of schedule score. Like, oh. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that he had like probably was told to come out and say something, but we all know what his intention was. And again, we talked about it last episode, like, we like this and it's fun and who cares? Like,
yeah. And they're donating to what's his name? Cody, the oil guy, whatever. Yeah. And this like the Protect College Football bill that has been the talk of the town recently, which some of it I 100% agree with, right? Of like how many times somebody can transfer, how old you can be to play in college football, and the fact that you can't go pro and then come back to college, which we've seen recently, and it just blows my mind. I'm like, where all of a sudden did this become a thing of like, now I want to come back, so I'm gonna like get this attorney who's gonna sue so and so and so and so, and to make it to where I can come back is crazy. So those things I feel like I support, but the whole media rights thing and comparing it to the NFL, I'm like, but this is not the NFL. This is college football. In the NFL, you have all these players and all these teams that can be on the same level of like talent wise. These are the best of the best. In college, not everybody is the best of the best, and it's never going to be that way, whether that pisses people off or not. It just isn't.
So. Yeah, I don't. I sent that one article to us, and I read into that, and then I haven't like really dived in because I thought it was interesting that like no other SEC coaches were there or all of the conversations, and like we're all gonna agree to disagree. Like there's things we're gonna agree to, there's things that we're not. And I think they're trying to compare it to NFL because it's the only thing that we have similar, and they're just like, look, we let the rails come off of this, like how do we hone it in? Like at least we can take an example of what the NFL does and try to be like, look, this is working for them. But I think in a way they're just trying to be like, how do we step it back with data of like supporting it, and then maybe we try something else. But I have zero clue what's going to end up happening. But it was interesting, like having obviously the Tech donor was like the big speaker of everything for wanting us, Texas and Tech, to play, which was also kind of funny. Like softball, like Mahomes was at the game and they were interviewing Tegan and like all these girls at the end, right, of the game, and they were like, what did y'all think? And someone joked and they were like, yeah, why didn't they pan back to him later once they didn't win? But the girls were joking and they were like, hey, look, if he wants to come, that's great, but next time can he bring Taylor Swift, because that's who we want at our games. Like,
but I do love in that regard, I love how much he and his wife Brittany like support. Women's athletics. Mm-hmm. That like literally I just get goosebumps talking about it. But I'm like, I would love for one of our big alums, to be involved in, who knows? I mean, they might be involved in an IL and getting players, but and Kevin Durant, right? Like Kevin has been really involved in like our women's basketball program and things like that. But I would love to see more of it because it really is so special and unique, and the fan bases behind women's teams are so passionate. Like, I have a client who is in Austin, and he and his wife only buy season tickets for like women's sports. And he will text me, like we text throughout every single game. And it just is so fun. Like, you don't always have that for everything else.
I know. And once you said that, I was like, yeah, like Katie did. Madison was wearing his shoes and like has his number, whatever. Yeah, there are some fun, because I was trying to think of like who else, that would be like Patrick Mahomes and that would be affiliated with Texas. Like, we have so many, but and like a lot of them have come back. A lot of them are back in Austin and helping in different ways. It's just, not as like.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe it'll be Arch. Maybe it'll be you. Like, when the day comes that you go to the NFL, maybe it can be you.
Yeah. We're just all the Manning fam. When they're there, they are quite the topic, like Cooper being
like the royal family. Like, everybody is going to stop and look and pay attention to any and every little thing that they do.
I know. I mean, and Taft's going off too. He's a great one. So there will be so many things, but yes, like, I don't know. Someone was asking me on Friday, their kids are graduating. It was actually a client. We got into like I was like, had to cold call him. And then we got into this other topic, and of course started talking about colleges. He has twin daughters that are looking at A&M, UT, and then like Colorado School of Mines. And he was like, what do you think compared to UT and A&M? And I go, I'm a little biased. Like, he was like, which ones? I was like, they're both really good schools. Like, don't get me. I was like, we just won the back-to-back natties in softball last night. He was like, I was like, so I'm kind of riding a high right now. So don't get me trying to say something.
Literally. I mean, I feel like that too. I'm like, do you really want? I feel like that's a rhetorical question when you're asking me at this point. Like, you know how passionate I am about my school.
So that's what I was like, but yeah, that's what I was going to say is like, we're just riding a high. Like, things are really exciting right now. The guys haven't been to Omaha since 2022. Like,
if we could win both like softball and baseball in the same year, could you imagine? I'm like, just set the tone, right? Like, and then we just keep bouncing it onto all the other sports, that are going to come in the fall.
Well, that's why everyone was writing, and they were like, now it's time to get a football one. Like,
football, volleyball, like, we're here for it all.
Yep. It's a great time to be a Longhorn.
It really is. But yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. And then too, send us questions. Like, this is kind of the down part of the year before football comes. So if there's questions that you guys have for us, let us know. We would love to answer some things.
Yeah.